Opening up After Effects, you have a brand new slate. I'm going to review some, but I'm going to do the review a little faster, okay? Because we've had a couple of times, I've recorded it a couple times. But everything that I start with now will start from scratch, and it'll see that the repetitive nature of this is just going to be helpful as you keep hearing it, like new keyframe, or however I describe using After Effects. You're going to hear some things over and over, and the more you practice it, the better you'll get at it. So I'm in After Effects. I've got a project window, I've got a composition window. In this one I either have audio or info. There's a preview panel that might be hidden. The preview panel is your fast forward, play, go to end buttons, as well as your RAM preview button, and I'll be getting to the RAM preview button in a second. Effects and presets, we'll be going over that today to show you where those effects are and how you can find lots of different types of effects, okay? And then in the bottom is your timeline, which there's nothing in currently because we haven't imported anything yet. So we're going to go File, Import, and then File. So we're going to have to follow our mouse along. If you guys are frustrated with these mice, or mice that it would be called, you could bring your own USB mouse, and maybe it would be a better idea if you're frustrated with these mice. I think I am, but I forgot to bring mine today. File, and we go Import File, and we find our desktop because we saved it on a desktop folder called TV144 Temp. And so we go Desktop, TV144 Temp, and in that folder you should have the Anim graphic, and we're not going to double click it, and that's always the mistake I think a lot of people make, is a double click. We're just going to single click it because I want to show you some of the formats that you can open it as. Import As is the third one down here underneath. By default it says footage, but footage is basically a video clip or one layer in a Photoshop file or a JPEG, one file. What we're going to do is we're going to do Import, Composition, Retain Layer Sizes. Retain Layer Sizes will keep it so that any layer that we have, it'll have bounding box handles. If we didn't do Retain Layer Sizes, every layer would have handles at the HD size and not around like just the Fire logo. As long as Retain Layer Sizes is chosen, when I open up this Fire medallion, the bounding box will be just for that. So I need to hit Open, and it's going to open up one more dialog box just to confirm that the layer options are set right. And we talked a little bit about this last time, but I'll review it again. Editable layer styles allows you to change gradients or drop shadows, anything that's in the special effect or the layer style. It allows you to be able to edit it, but a problem becomes sometimes is that if you animate a layer with editable styles, it's going to animate only the mask that it makes and not the gradient. So you may want to try, if you have a lot of layer styles, you may want to try one of each and see how it animates for you, how that layer animates, because that might have you choose the other one. I'm going to leave it on editable layer style so that I can show you the negatives and the pluses of that, okay? So I'm going to leave editable layer styles on. I'm going to hit OK. First thing that happens is that it comes up in the project window as a composition, which is this little movie frame, has a little red, green, blue little icon in it with a movie frame on it, and a folder with all of our layers inside of it. But we're not going to worry about the folder right now. We're just going to worry about this composition with the movie frame on it. So we're going to double click our movie frame, and that opens up our full composition with any folders we had, and the folders are going to be tan, and the layers without folders are going to be like a blue color. Okay. If you've already set up your window, you probably have a composition window on the left side. On the right side, and then your other windows are elsewhere. There we go. So the first thing we'll notice is, of course, time code is here. It's homed at 0. You can drag your current time indicator. You obviously won't have any motion until you start creating keyframes for things. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to actually animate the fire logo, and I'm just going to do a scale, okay, because I want to just show you basic keyframes. So if you've already done a lot of this, this will seem like review, and then I'll get into some effects, and I'll also get into that puppet tool, because I think that puppet tool is actually pretty cool. And it'll work really well on my flames. So I have a fire folder in which other objects are grouped together. So if I turn on and off my layer 2, I see that I've got a folder, and with the folder you can double click it, and when you double click it you go inside the folder, and now you see a grouped set of items. I typically wait till like week 2 or 3 to show this, but since Photoshop has now involved folders into subcomps, I need to tackle it earlier. So my grouping has the Lafayette Fire Department patch. It's got layer 8, which is like a gold underpainting, and it's got the fire background. It also has a copy of the original that's flat. Actually, no, it doesn't have it. It's flat. So I had it turned off, so I won't need it, so I'm going to actually delete that one. It's not deleting it out of the folder here. It's not deleting it from your hard drive. It's not deleting it from the Photoshop file. It's just deleting it out of this timeline. So you can kind of clean up your files and organize a little bit better. So I'm going to scale this logo, but this one has 2 things attached to it. It's got the gold piece and it's got the front piece. So I need to group these 2 together to scale them together. That makes sense, right? So basically, to group things in After Effects once you're in here, you highlight both of them, and I use Shift to do that. And I went Edit. Actually, I didn't do Edit. I went Layer is what I need to do. Layer, Pre-Compose. And this is how you group things together in After Effects. It asks you if you want to leave all attributes in the one folder or if you want to move everything into the new composition. This one isn't highlighted because it doesn't have a way to make what they call intermediate compositions. So it only gives us one option. So this one's called Fire Patch or Fire Logo. Okay, so I just grouped that together, but you notice what happened. It actually made a bounding box that's HD size. You see that? So what I can do, that's why the mouse drives me crazy, is because that when I scroll on it, it zooms, is I want to make that logo just the border of that, and after a group is made, it's actually a composition with some settings on it. This setting happens to be 1920 by 1080 because that was the size of the original Photoshop file. What I'm doing right here, you probably won't have to do on yours, but I just want to show you how you can actually get this bounding box a little smaller for different groups. I'm going to make this one like 500, unlock it by 500. I don't think I squashed it. Oh, that's not the one I wanted to do anyway. I wanted to be inside Fire Logo, and I wanted to make this composition and its settings smaller. It's a little wider. I'm going to put it in the center. I'm going to make it 615 tall. We're going to use this technique later, also in the semester, where you might have to make compositions larger so that you can scale them bigger and kind of pan them around the scene. You're not limited to just composition sizes that are HD. You're allowed to go larger in composition size and smaller. So smaller is what I'm doing right now. So this Fire Graphic folder now just has a group, and there are my bounding handles that are a little bit more manageable.